I feel like we're nearing like Bulldog Brunch levels of talking about this. Like
Bacon wrapped shrimp,
we're not, like
tenderloin, egg,
uh
and cheese.
well, in Dancer we'll talk about like having like the shrimp off between like the two restaurants, and now we're talking about like the TEC off between like who can stand up, who can who can
Who
contend against
who
Carol's
among
Country
you?
Cupboard. Welcome to My Gotta Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I preview Georgia's top 10 showdown with the Texas Longhorns. We talk through what we're looking for in the game, and we answer questions from you, our listeners. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. Another Texas preview. Round 3 with these guys in year 2 of the SEC.
The eyes of Texas are upon us, eh?
Mm, mm, I suppose. I suppose they are.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be an interesting matchup, um, based on everything that I'm seeing in my extensive research.
So extensive. So extensive. I think so too. I think so too. I agree. Um, Spend some time and just through like gathering the things that we look at. That we'll get to. But yeah, it's been interesting, and I think it's been an interesting season for Texas. Um, all the hype kind of came back down to earth momentarily, and now all the hype is almost back. So I don't know. I feel like it's been a bit of a roller coaster for these guys.
Yeah, I think that I would have preferred to have played them earlier in the season because I feel like that much like we're seeing with Georgia, they're
Mm,
kind of figuring things out, it seems like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think that's the thing, right? In the new college football that we've been talking about, you gotta kind of get going by the right time. So,
Yeah.
and
But
as you've said on our podcast, John, we are everyone's Super Bowl, so expect to get their best shot.
we should. I mean, basically, Texas needs to win out in order to have a shot at making the playoff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah.
So we're facing yet another team that is desperate for a win, pretty much, and that kind of classifies everyone that we're playing. We just got done playing Mississippi State, who is desperate for another SEC win.
Hmm.
Florida desperate to beat Georgia for the first time in 9 years. Um,
Yeah.
you had a missing coach. The Auburn situation, like we are everyone's Super Bowl so far this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
I would say that that might be somewhat disingenuous because the Texas A&M game is probably going to be much bigger for Texas fans.
I think that's
Um,
fair. That's fair.
yeah, but as far as their season goes, we could probably end their season this weekend.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be tough for them to climb back, you know, try to get to that 3 loss playoff team conversation. It would make that Texas A&M game even more important. But I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see like what happens if they don't win, you know, against A&M and they lose to Georgia, obviously. Um, so I think that it would be interesting to see what do you do with that? Because we're facing the team that has a quarterback that by and large everyone picked to be the Heisman winner, which
Yep.
Feinbaum I think talked about that today about how he's got some answering to do, some crow to eat in regards to that prediction, which frankly a lot of people had those predictions as well.
Yeah. He wasn't alone.
Yeah. Um, but they were preseason number one, preseason Heisman candidate. Like all of the things were set up for Texas and they haven't executed. So to say that this season so far has been a disappointment is probably an understatement. Send them home with 3 or 4 losses. Now you're talking about questions like, are they gonna is Sarkisian gonna end up on the hot seat kind of thing?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, dude, there's like so many narratives to go around with this for sure.
So
Yeah, I
many
mean,
narratives.
they went from number one to like unranked, right? And now they're back in the top 10. Like it's has been a wild, crazy season for them. So
Like how? How does that happen?
yeah, yeah, it's absolutely. I think they were like weren't they like the fastest to ever go from like one to unranked like in a season? Um,
I don't know, but it was pretty quick.
but then here we are. Here we are.
Yeah.
Now it's a top 10 matchup in Athens. Kind of like we thought it would be, right? Maybe not exactly the same, but still we you looked at this on paper before the season and you thought it would be a top 10 matchup. And here we are, and it is. So,
Yeah, seriously. Um, I don't, yeah, I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we had Arch Manning on campus and everybody was like,
mhm.
oh man, we got to get Arch, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, that ended up okay for us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Things have I think things have worked out well for everyone. I think, baked into the mea culpa stuff from Feinbaum was also his not only, I guess his overestimation or whatever about Arch, but also his underestimation of Gunnar Stockton. So love to see that commentary in the media.
Right.
All right, let's run through some of the things.
Let's run
Um,
them.
we'll quickly remind everyone that you can follow us at My Gotta Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And then, as we always remind you, head over to homefield.mygottapodcast.com. You can use the promo code HunkerDown to get 15% off your first order from Homefield. I'm wearing a Homefield hoodie tonight. They had a new jacket got dropped last week. It's pretty sick. We retweeted it from the podcast account. Definitely go check that out. It's got a nice like 90s kind of retro vibe. Looks pretty sweet.
Hmm.
All right, let's do kind of the matchup rundown here. So we've got kickoff is Saturday night at 7:30 at Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. The Dogs come in 8-1 and 6-1 in the league. Texas 7-2, 4-1 in the SEC. Two less SEC games than Georgia has played. That's interesting. Um, the Dogs are number 5 in all the polls. Texas number 10. That includes the CFP poll as well. This game is on ABC. So reminder, get you an antenna. If you're in the YouTube TV situation, if you have an antenna and you're going to be watching from home, you can watch this game for free with an antenna, a digital antenna.
Or if you're an old man going old school ways, switch to Comcast.
Right. Yeah. Or just if you always had cable or satellite, you're fine. And you're like, Jim,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? The broadcast crew, the big one, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, plus Laura Rutledge. So this is one of those games where they add the extra sideline reporter. So it's a big one in Athens. Sirius XM Station 84. I guess that's what happens when we're at home. The official hashtag that we will forget to use is hashtag Tex versus UGA. And let's see, all-time series. Haven't played these guys a ton. Texas leads the all-time series 4-3. So we've got a chance to tie up the all-time series on Athens in Athens on Saturday. Georgia won the last meeting, obviously 22-19 in overtime in the SEC championship game last year. Also, this is Texas' first ever trip to Athens, so they've never played between the hedges before. So this will be the first time. Weather looks pretty good, like in the 70s during the day. 7:30 kick. I think it's going to get down to like 60, a little below 60, probably by the time the game ends. The only thing I don't know, JP, that I'm a little concerned about is could there be swirling winds? I don't know how cold it'll be in the upper deck, so we'll have to see. Again, we'll probably layer, I think.
Make
Otherwise, I'm
sure
going to end
you,
up buying Lily another blanket or something.
I was about to say, make sure you bring your blanket.
Bring the stadium blanket.
Bring the stadium blanket for good vibes.
She was actually using that stadium blanket. It's not a stadium blanket, but we bought it in the stadium. She was using that tonight, so it was pretty funny.
I mean, I'd say it's a stadium blanket. It's pretty low. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like that blanket. All right. I believe there is a JP fun fact. this evening.
Yeah, so I went down the rabbit hole on Bevo, Jim.
Hmm.
Um, have you, do you recall us ever talking about Bevo at all?
Other than like when he tried to attack Uga, we didn't have a podcast yet, but we probably talked about that. Other than that, I don't recall. If we talked about it, I don't remember.
So I'm going to address a couple of things. So one, there are a couple of different stories about how their mascot got its name.
Okay.
And one of them that seems to be the most popular is rather interesting. And I'm going to kind of talk about that for a second here. Um, so apparently in I think it was 1915. Um, I think that it was 1915, 1916, something like that. Uh, Texas A&M and Texas played to a 13 to nothing loss in which Texas A&M kidnapped the mascot, the Longhorn, and branded the score to his buttocks or wherever you brand the cattle.
Sure. Sure.
Um, and I guess that in order to save face, the student body decided to brand and change the name from like a 13 and made it a B and somehow fashioned an E and a V and an O
Mm,
into his brand there.
got it.
And so from that point forward, it was called Bevo, which I think is interesting, but there is a counter argument from another website, which I'd be curious to know like how John, I think he's meeting with was it Texas Ghost or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be curious to know like what they think about this story or this lore, I guess I should say. Um, I think that one of the sources, uh, Texas X's, basically talks about how this is kind of like a misnomer of sorts. Um, but basically, their story, their version of the story is that it's short for beeve. Um, I guess like when you're making playful names, you add an O to the end, and so beeve is beeves are like the plural of beef. And so I think that adding the O as like a playful slang term, um, kind of became like Beeve O.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the evolution of how the slang terms of the time kind of went by adding an O to the to everything. Um, I'm not sure which one I ascribe to. The other thing that's interesting, like the Beeve, was also like a non-alcoholic beverage from the time period as well. That Anheuser-Busch, I guess, kind of put out or whatever.
Mm,
Um, Pivo, is also a Bohemian word for beer, which there's a lot of Bohemians in, like, former like I want to say is it Dutch? Is it Czech? I'm not sure. Like there's Eastern European heritage in Texas, which is where like Shinerbach kind of came from, right?
got it.
Um, but anyway, Bevo was just like it was a long-term success. It was a long-term successful drink of the time. But it was basically like a near beer kind of product that was produced by Anheuser-Busch. But yeah, it was kind of like right around the time when Prohibition was coming out as well.
Mm,
And it kind of became popular in the 20s with Prohibition. But that said, Bevo was kind of a play on some of those words. So which one do you think, Jim? Is it near beer? Like I don't know how I would feel about having like a non-alcoholic mascot. Um, is it they changed it because of the prank to try to save face, um or is it the other option, which is the beef?
I'm leaning towards the saving of the prank because and here I'll give you my analysis. This is me literally just reacting to this on the fly. Like, why would that lore continue? Like, I feel like that wouldn't be something that Texas fans would want to like prolong. Like, oh man, like A&M branded our mascot. Like I feel like, like you wouldn't make that
You
up.
can't make that up,
Yeah, yeah. So
right? Like
yeah, so this is my that's I don't know. That's my thought process. So I'm going with that one.
I'm going with that one too, man. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like if something like that has been in existence for so long in vernacular or in your yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the case because that was what was coming up when I was researching this. Like, I was like, Bevo is kind of an interesting name. Like, what the heck's going on with that? Let's run that down. I feel like we
Yeah.
need to get I feel like we need to get Jason Hasty's counterpart at the University of Texas involved here.
Mm. Nice. I like that. I like that.
We'd have some intra conference history lessons.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely something we need to look into is the Hasties history crossover events with our opponents. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Um,
but they have some pictures. If you go to the Texas X's website, you'll see some. I always thought that I always thought that the Texas Longhorn was burnt orange. Like you think of you think of Bevo,
mhm,
and you probably are thinking of like an orange tinge. Maybe there's some white spots kind of interspersed, kind of like you think of Uga. He's white and maybe he's got some brown spots or whatever on the back of him. But generally speaking, I think everybody kind of considers Uga to be a white English bulldog.
yeah.
I kind of think the same thing about Bevo, but if you go and look at some of the pictures, the historical pictures here, like there's a giant black Bevo and
Mhm,
Texas Longhorns come in other colors. So
gotcha.
I thought it was kind of interesting. I think that they've kind of settled on the look that they have now. So I don't think that we're going to see too many like black or brown Bevos. We're probably going to see the burnt orange variety the rest of our days. I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. I would imagine as well, and that is how I think of it because that is the color of the beaver who assaulted Uga or attempted to assault Uga. So,
So the other thing that I'll mention as part of like the tacit research here, like secondhand research. Apparently, in the 1920s, Texas Longhorns almost became extinct. Um, I guess that as settlers moved west, they leveraged Texas Longhorns cattle there because they were very easy to raise. Apparently, they're very hard. They're a hardy breed. However, with the advent of barbed wire, and the end of like free range grazing and those kinds of things, they don't do well contained. And they don't do well in the modern day cattle raising. And so on top of that, they're also a leaner cut of meat. So that's why I do recall talking about that in one of the last Texas Texas matchups that we had. I do remember talking about the fact that Bevo is not like you would not enjoy a steak coming from a Texas Longhorn, apparently.
got it.
So I guess with the advent of the railroad and things like that, and as time wore on, tastes changed. European meat would make its way to the United States, and people started preferring the Angus varieties. And I think there's like another one starts with an H, like Hertfordshire or something like that. Um, anyway, the European cattle that has a fattier cut. So, Bobby, your Snake River Farms steaks, etc., obviously are probably coming from not a Longhorn. They're probably coming from an Angus cow. They make fattier, better cuts of meat, and so as ranchers tried to shift towards changing tastes, they would go away from the Longhorn and they would crossbreed and they would breed out all of the bad things that were in the Texas Longhorn. I think that the numbers got down to where there were only 27 purebred Longhorns in existence at one point in the 20s. And I guess someone somewhere at that time period decided to get conservation going, and they decided to save the breed basically.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so every Texas Longhorn descended from those 27, and they just kind of bred them for their strengths moving forward to, with the big horns and all that kind of stuff. So,
Gotcha.
um, anyway, long-winded way of saying not a great steak.
Not a great steak. I think we have some further steak conversation coming up. A little foreshadowing for the listener questions.
Sounds good.
We're gonna do and the horn sound. We're gonna do a repeat of what we did last week. I'm going to insert Hasty's history in later. Just a scheduling conflict this week, so we're gonna drop that in right here. All right, here's Hasty's Hargrett history for Texas. January 2nd, 1984 may or may not have been the most exciting day in college football history. It was almost certainly, though, the most exciting day of the old bowl system. The 1983 Bulldogs were loaded with talent at every position except for two. The most glaring hole in the roster had worn number 34 from 1980 to 1982, but had skipped his senior season to play for the USFL's New Jersey Generals. In Herschel's absence, Coach Dooley had to rely on a committee of running backs. Sharing the load that season would be Keith Montgomery, David McCluskey, Barry Young, and Tron Jackson. Starting at quarterback was John Lastinger, who had replaced Buck Bellew after the 1981 season. Lastinger was criticized throughout the 1983 season for his lack of production. He finished 1983 with a completion percentage of 49%, with only 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Reflecting the struggles in the passing game, Herman Archie, Georgia's leading receiver, had only 355 yards and 2 touchdowns for the year. Lastinger, though, was a winner, and Coach Dooley stuck by him. Oddly, Lastinger had played his high school football for the Valdosta Wildcats, where he'd replaced Buck Bellew as quarterback following Bellew's graduation. Coach Dooley recruited heavily from Valdosta. Georgia's regular season had only 2 blemishes, a 16-16 tie with Clemson and a 13-7 loss to SEC champion Auburn. Texas was a powerhouse in the Southwest Conference during the 70s and 80s. Under Coach Fred Akers, Texas had run through the 1983 regular season undefeated and had handed Auburn their only loss of the year. Under the bowl system, Auburn, the SEC champion, was bound to play in the Sugar Bowl, where they were matched with Big Ten runner-up Michigan. Georgia, as the conference runner-up, was matched up with Southwest Conference champion Texas in the Cotton Bowl. In the Orange Bowl, Big 8 conference champion Nebraska was matched with upstart independent Miami, coached by Howard Schnellenberger. Going into the Bowls on January 2nd, 1984, Nebraska was ranked number 1, Texas was ranked number 2, Auburn was ranked number 3, Illinois was ranked number 4, and Miami was ranked number 5. Georgia was ranked number 7, so had no chance at a national title. To start the day, UCLA, defeated by Georgia in the first game of the season, upset Big Ten champion Illinois in the Rose Bowl, leading to a showdown of the Cotton, Orange, and Sugar Bowl winners to determine the national champion. Auburn defeated Michigan 9-7 in a dull Sugar Bowl. Miami shocked Nebraska 31-30 in an all-time classic Orange Bowl. If Texas beat Georgia, they'd be national champions. If Georgia upset mighty Texas, the championship would go to Miami. The Cotton Bowl was a defensive slugfest. Both teams were stout on that side of the ball and limited on offense. Going into the fourth quarter, neither team had scored a touchdown, and Texas led 9-3. Late in the fourth quarter, Georgia, facing 4th and 17, punted. Texas returner Craig Curry, who was not the regular punt returner, muffed a punt, which Georgia's Gary Moss recovered on the Texas 23-yard line. Barry Young and Tron Jackson each carried the ball, and the Dogs faced 3rd and 4 on the Texas 17-yard line. Lastinger noticed that the Texas defense had aligned to one side over Georgia's wide receivers, so he called for an option play to the other side. Lastinger took the snap and ran to the end of the line where a Texas defender, expecting Lastinger to pitch the ball, keyed on Tron Jackson. Lastinger kept the ball and stretched over the goal line for the only touchdown of the day. Kevin Butler added the extra point, and Georgia led 10-9. A Texas drive coming to nothing, so the Dogs were able to burn out the clock, denying Texas their national championship. We've been playing for the national championship the past 3 years, and it's been taken away from us twice, said Georgia safety Charlie Dean in the red and black. I was thinking, well, let's take it from somebody else and let them get the feel of what it's like to have something very valuable taken away from them. Miami, by virtue of its win over Nebraska, won its first national championship and set the stage for its dominant run throughout the 1980s. Lastinger's run epitomized the resilience of the 1983 team. Herschel was no longer in Athens, and the team lacked star power, but it found a way to win. And for a generation of Georgia fans, the answer to the question, what time is it in Dallas, will always be 10 to 9. And I hope everyone enjoyed Hasty's Hargate history. Let's
Man, that
move.
was amazing.
It's so good. So good. I know what it's about, but we'll wait and get the full reaction later. Um, let's hit the news and notes. So for Kirby's press conference, um, just a couple of injury updates. So he did get asked about Drew Bobo because if you recall, Drew Bobo went out of the Mississippi State game, and but Kirby said that he had a pretty bad laceration on his finger, but that he's patched up and would be ready to go for practice. This was yesterday. He said that. So Bobo seems good to go. And then on Loss of Lucky, obviously had the scary hit that led to a targeting ejection. He said that he's doing well. And Kirby said he thinks he's going to make a quick turn, but we'll see. No hopeful kiss of death, like we talked about. Have to assume he's in the concussion protocol. So we will see with Loss and Lucky. But that's all that I saw. Official injury report will come out Wednesday night, so we'll know more at that point. All right. Let's hop into the matchup. Um, as far as like just to get the team level stuff, net yards per play, these teams are actually pretty equal. Georgia sitting at 1.05, Texas at 1.09. They have been much more fortuitous in the turnover margin than Georgia. We are still -2. That's in the red on turnovers for the season. Texas is at +8. So definitely something to watch out for. Definitely one of those kind of protect the football uh, type of games. Um, the other thing I would
100%.
say, yeah, the other thing I would say about these guys is like, I mean, they struggle on the road, right? So they opened the season with a closely contested loss at Ohio State. They lost at Florida, and then they also needed overtime to win at Kentucky. They played at Kentucky and they played at Mississippi State. They needed overtime for both of those games to win. Um, and they also opened like outside of the Ohio State game, like they were just playing like in Texas, like forever. And then finally ventured out of the state. Um, all right. So that's just kind of like a couple of team level things. So let's go to John, kind of like what we're looking for um, out of the Georgia offense, like when Georgia has the ball, our offense, their defense. Um, so the notable players on their defense, Anthony Hill is a junior linebacker. He leads the team with 63 total tackles. He's also got 4 sacks and 1 interception. Malik Muhammad is a junior defensive back. He leads the team um, with 2 interceptions. And then Colin Simmons is a sophomore coming off the edge. He leads the team with 8 sacks. The other thing that stands out to me, John, is their rushing stats. So they're actually second in the FBS in rushing yards allowed per game at only 78.2. Um, I will say I've been looking at some of the like Josh's stats, the dog stats that John has been publishing on the Speakeasy site. Um, one thing I've noticed is like Josh filters out and like only includes stats against the Power Four. So I think they've padded a lot of their stats against some of the weaker opponents because if you'll recall, their schedule has included San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. So
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, if you look at their schedule, like you said, they've played 2 less SEC games. So they effectively started the season with no SEC matchups.
yep,
And then they have played nothing but the SEC schedule since I'm not sure when since their Sam Houston game. So if you look at the score lines, you're looking at okay, so they had the close loss to Ohio State. Uh, how you feel about that, whatever. I think the Big Ten is kind of overrated in general based on what I've seen.
sure,
But then you go into like San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston. I mean, they put up 38, 27, and 55 points. From there, they don't put up 30 points until they play Mississippi State.
right, right.
And they don't, and then they put up 30 against Vandy, which we all saw that one. But
Yeah, I mean, and I think they're shutting down the run against those teams, right? Like those teams aren't running on them for sure. So probably skewed a bit. I don't know that I have that but that was definitely something that jumped out to me. Like there, but I think that was kind of thing playing against them last year too, right? Like coming into the first Georgia Texas game last year, like their defense was getting like all the pub, like all the Texas defense. Georgia hasn't seen anything like that. Um, and we were kind of last year we were kind of saying ain't played anybody kind of thing. Um, and this year I think they kind of padded those stats in the early going. So I don't know. I mean,
Hmm.
I think it's kind of one of those kind of like focus on you, focus on what you're doing. Gunner keeps doing his thing, and I mean, if we can keep running the ball, we've been running the way we have been, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, keep the offensive line vibes going.
Yeah, and again, I'll say protect that football. They do have 15 takeaways, so
Agreed.
cool. Um, you want to move on to kind of their offense, our defense?
Yes. However, I will say that yeah, you mentioned Simmons. That's gonna be a big matchup that I was looking at in my research. Um, so a couple of things that I'll talk about. Um, they are they're giving up. You said that they're doing well on the run because my notes say that they're not doing very great against the run.
They give up 78, only 78 yards rushing per game, but that's against all opponents. That's not limited to the Power Four.
Right. The other thing that I saw that we talked about the tight end, the reemergence of the tight ends.
Hmm.
Um, I think that this could be a good game for the tight ends. I also think that this is going to be a good game for the running backs, but that's just that's just my 2 cents on that.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you on that. I agree on that as well. So, uh, and then continue. uh, I did love when Kirby like he made a joke about like that the people who don't like screens wouldn't like the Mississippi State game and like Branch's touchdown. But I mean, I think that continue to work that, and even whether you're doing it or you're faking it, I think when we do throw those screens, it's an extension of our run game there as well too. So I would say keep working that as well.
Got it.
All right, let's. Oh, sorry, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say that their defense is also very good against the in red zone efficiency as well.
Okay.
So putting up touchdowns, I think are gonna when we can, points per opportunity and all those kinds of things, like maximizing our offensive efficiency, I think is something that we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, yeah. Basically a touchdowns, not field goals kind of deal.
Touchdowns, not field goals. But yeah, I think that we should be able to expose some things with them with the tight ends. So it'll be interesting to see because they're coming off of a bye week. We're playing in yet another team that's coming off a bye week.
Yeah, true.
So there's a lot wrapped up in that and what they potentially have been working on as they kind of reach their ascendance of the season, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little their offense, our defense. Um, so I mean, I think their quarterback is Arch Manning. He's a Manning. They have a Manning. So Arch, let's see, he's got 2,123 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's got on a 62% completion percentage. Um, Quintravion Wisner is their running back. Um, 88 carries, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. We faced him. He played against us last year, and I think we actually contained him pretty well. And then Arch is actually the second leading rusher as well. So 69 carries, 203 yards, 6 touchdowns on the ground. And then through the air, Ryan Wingo, sophomore receiver, he's the leading receiver, 5 touchdowns, 593 yards. And then DeAndre Moore is a junior wide receiver, 1 touchdown, 379 yards on 29 catches. Um, I mean, this is where I mean to me, I think this for them like this game is kind of, I mean, it's on Archer's shoulders. Is what I That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, how Arch goes, how this team goes.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't know, man. I am. Here's what I'm going to be looking for here. We've talked about it so much, like pressure, right? Pressure is the great equalizer. Like, what can we do? How can we disrupt them? shoot, Kirby talked about in the Mississippi State post game that he's almost to the point of like conceding the first touchdown, and then we'll figure it out and adjust. So I mean, again, if they take the ball and march down the field and score, do not be shocked. That seems to be what we do, and then look for the adjustments. What I am going to be looking for though is that pressure. What can we do to dial up pressure against these guys? Because we certainly did that against them last year.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how, you know, how we approach this. I think that did you mention that they were getting back people from injury as well?
I did not.
I think that they're going to be getting back Ryan Wingo and Michael Taft, Jelani McDonald. They've got three players that I think that they kind of are expecting to be contributing uh, versus Georgia in this game.
Okay.
The the one thing that I think that is interesting, we talk about the schedule, we talk about, who they've played and they've put up all these different points. What they're averaging. I think that those games are definitely throwing off some of the averages. So when they've played on the road, Texas is only averaging about 95 yards a game when they're on the road. You mentioned a couple of games earlier this season where they lost those games and lost those matchups, and they both happen to be road games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll be watching for how Texas is able to kind of get the running game up to speed because if they become a one-dimensional team, it could be a very long day for the Texas Longhorns because overall, I think that if they're not able to if they stick to their average, I mean they're averaging 3.9 yards per rush.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see
If
that.
you tell me if you were to tell me before the game, John, we're going to hold them to 3.9 yards a rush, I would say that this is an easy win.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, man. Uh, and I think, and I don't know, I feel like that's kind of sort of what we did to them last year, right? I mean, last year it was Ewers, but Ewers was having to throw, throwing nonstop. Um, I don't know. I guess the only thing like slight difference there is Arch's, I guess propensity to take off and run. So, but we held him in check when he came into the game last year for the most part too. So it's not like we haven't played him before.
Mhm.
But definitely something to watch out for, right? Like you gotta when you are trying to get pressure on him, you gotta contain him because you know that he'll take off.
Yeah, I think that based on what we saw, based on what we saw last time we played these guys and Arch was in, um, dude, just dialing up pressure, man. I feel like this kid gets off of his game very easily when he's faced with a lot of pressure. So
Yeah,
blitz some more.
I agree with you, 100%. All right, I got a couple of special teams things. Unless you had anything else on that.
Nope.
Okay. So special teams um, have to report that they do take special teams seriously. So their um, punter is Bauer, Jack Bowmeister. Sorry if I'm not saying it correctly. He is a senior punter. He is from Bendigo, Australia. He also is a transfer. So he is a transfer from Utah. Both of their kickers are transfers. Their place kicker is Mason Shipley. He's a senior. He's 14 of 18 on field goals, perfect on extra points. He's a double transfer, so he went to Oklahoma State and Texas State. Their website says he has degrees from both Oklahoma State and Texas State, but he was only at Oklahoma State in 2020. So I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what the Texas website says. So he is very well educated.
It sounds like Little League birth certificates or something. Like what is going on?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. So anyways, that's on their special teams. Not obviously different kicker. Bert Auburn was the guy they had last year. He's still in college. He is at like Miami, I think. But so he is no longer at Texas, if you were wondering. Okay. I just realized I did leave out one thing we were talking about their offense. Apologies to Lily. She pointed out to me that Arch is the only Manning that was not in Chad Powers. That was her assessment of Texas. So we can move on.
I still need to watch the season finale on that
Oh, you
one.
haven't finished it? Oh,
I don't think so. Yeah, no,
it's
I don't think I've seen it yet.
So good.
I've had a lot going on.
You gotta check it out. Gotta check it out. All right. Let's head to the listener questions. And as we do that, we'll remind everyone that the listener questions are brought to you by Working Web Media. So Working Web Media helped us redo our site, and they help us maintain it. You can head over to mygodapodcast.com to check that out. You can get to every episode. We got our merchandise store is there as well. So if you got a small business, you need some help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs, and they will know that we sent you their way. All right, starting it off with the building bonus. TM. Sorry for the late entry and hello from India. So Brett, I know he said last week that his question would be coming from India this week. So,
Mm.
number one, how many times will we play Texas before we go to A&M?
So
So,
it's funny he asked that question because I was actually looking at the CFP rankings as they came out, and I believe if you look at so the week 12 the week 12 CFP rankings have Georgia at 5 and Texas is at 10. So you figure if we were to, if God forbid something were to happen, if we were to drop one or whatever and Texas, let's say Texas wins, like, or if they drop one, like there is a possibility that we could play them again, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
Which
definitely
would
where
put
this
us
is
at what,
going.
five or six times that we would have played them before going to going to
Right.
Texas A&M.
Right. Exactly. And I had to, I'm on here, I'm out here on fbschedules.com, checking Georgia's schedule next year because I couldn't remember. And it looks like we do not go to Texas A&M next year either. Um, we don't have A&M on, or we don't have Texas on the schedule, um, next year, but we go to Texas and Texas A&M both in 2027. So there's another quirk. We'll have to see how that schedule comes timing wise, right? So there's a chance we play another regular season game at Texas before then, too. So I feel like you got to set the over under. I feel like you set it at 1.5. Did you set it 1.5 or 1.5? Something in there. So
How many more times?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, man. It could be, it could be two, could be three. So it's like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my head that we go to A&M next year, but we still don't. So wild. Um,
We're gonna play, suffice it to say, we're gonna play them several times.
yeah, yeah, seriously. Okay, and then second, why do people think Glory is I've been working on the railroad when clearly that is the eyes of Texas are upon you? So I guess
Hmm.
their song is
Do,
actually that.
do people think that I've been working on the railroad as Glory?
People do think that. Yes. You've never heard
Really?
that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. People
No.
will be like, Georgia, your fight song is I've been working on the railroad, which is like, no, it is not.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a musically inclined person, but even my novice experience in that regard showcases that to be false.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. So I don't know, man. That's a good point. I would say you can't even just say that in people's defense, they're not musically inclined because you are not, and you're proof that that's plenty. So,
Right. Right.
all right, Brett. Hope you're having a good time in India. I'm assuming I won't see you this weekend. But
What is your favorite Indian dish?
oh yeah.
What's
Um,
yours, Jim? While we're on the topic.
I honestly I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. We don't generally go to a lot of Indian like restaurants. Um, generally, like I mean, my favorite Indian food that I've had has been like at friends' houses, and I don't know what it's called. So like, I could have you ask my friends, and they could tell you. So I don't know. That's my honest answer.
I mean, butter chicken is you can't go wrong with. I figure you can't go wrong with butter chicken. Butter chicken, samosas, and a mango
Mm,
lassi.
samosas are really good. That's
The
up there for me.
samosas are really good, yeah.
That's definitely up there.
Also like paneer and chana masala.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
I bet he's getting some good eating over there.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. All right.
But don't do it off of the like on YouTube. they always have like the street vendors in India, and it's always just like, oh my gosh, that looks like so disgusting. Like it looks good, but like the way that you're cooking it is insanely disgusting.
Right, right. All right. Let's hit the next one. 51-7 GATA. He says over 300 yards rushing versus Hale State. So I'm going to ask it again. How many times would you like to see the toss sweep this week versus Texas?
Until they don't stop it.
Yes, yes. I'm going to stick with as many times until it's not too many times. That was my answer last week. So that's still my answer. But in general, yes, agreed. I think that's
Yeah,
kind of, I think that's two
give it
ways
to
to
me
say the
all
same
day
thing.
long.
Yeah, 100%. It's a great play, man. It's a great play. Um, let's see. Let's head to John Michael D. He said may hit this before the preview episode, but Kirby hitting them with the it's 0-0 in the victory highlights video with some elite fire, passion, and energy feels.
I
Um,
agree.
and he said that it's close enough for him on his previous Little Stitches question about a leaked halftime speech being needed to win a natty. So
Hey, that is yeah, I don't disagree with that. I need more Kirby I need more Kirby leaked audio in my life.
mm, yeah, it's always good. It's always good. All right, let's go over to Kevin at Just Baggett on Twitter. You already know what time it is. It's time for Jeopardy. Your category this week is Between the Eras. And as always, the answer is a daily double. All right, John. He has sent us the answer, and I have not looked at it yet, so we'll pull that up in a second. But he says in one of the strangest postseason results in college football history, the 1949 Orange Bowl between Georgia and Texas ended with this highly unusual final score. One of the last times it ever happened in a bowl game. All right, I refuse to look this stuff up, so I don't know what the answer is here. I
Man, if you don't
know,
know, then I'm screwed.
yeah, I know like there's a famous score, which is actually what Hasty's Harvard History was about. So I knew that. I was aware of that game. I knew we played them in the Orange Bowl, but I do not recall what the score was. I mean, I'm assuming it's something super low. So like, I don't know, 3-2,
I don't know. I'll go 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Oh, okay. Jeopardy answer is 0-0.
I was just about to say it's not going to be 0-0, is it? That's too obvious.
All right, so he says, Kevin says, that's right. The 1949 Orange Bowl ended scoreless. Georgia and Texas combined for just over 200 yards of total offense and multiple missed kicks. It remains one of only 5 0-0 ties in Major Bowl history and the last ever in the Orange Bowl. Mm. Hey,
Interesting.
I will say proof that we're not cheating on the questions that Kevin submits to us. So,
Yeah, seriously. Oh man. Imagine going to a bowl game and score being 0-0. Like what
dude,
is happening?
dude, seriously. Like, can you imagine? I mean, and like, also, we're talking in the 40s, and you go down to Miami.
Yeah, I'm wondering like was it like a monsoon? Like and it was
Mm.
just so yeah.
Could have been, but also how many people were traveling with the team back then as fans, or like or was it more like the locals that went to the bowl game? I'm not sure.
We have to put glasses on it.
It's different times. Who knows?
We should ask Jason if they have any pictures from this game.
We're like racking up the questions for Jason.
Jason, we're putting Jason, we're putting you to work.
Not on top of that, when he emailed us today, we also have already given him another topic to research something else on top of all of this. So it's like, oh man, too good. Which on that note too, by the way, I don't think we talked about this. The Jason sent this in his, or he mentioned in his email today. So last weekend for Mississippi State, it was like family weekend. So my sister and brother-in-law and my nephew were in town to visit Sophia in Athens, and they were like they did a watch party for the game. And it was like a whole event that they were at, and Jason Hasty was there and like had artifacts. And so my sister texted me a picture, like, look who we just found. It's like, and it's the whole family with Jason Hasty. So
What were
that's
the
pretty cool.
artifacts that he had?
Yes, it was. Oh, I don't know. I didn't get a rundown of what all he had, but I don't know. I will find out. I'll see them this weekend and get that intel.
Amazing.
All right, we will move on. Still no handle Addison has a friend of the show, Tim Riley, still submitting for her via Twitter. Addison, again, you can email us at mygodapodcast@gmail.com if you wish.
She's
Or
probably
we'll,
like, "What's your snap?"
yeah. We did not list Snapchat in the social media at the beginning, which is accurate. Um, okay, so Addison says, do we bring the blitz pressure or sit back and make Arch pass his way to success? Good dogs. I think you let that rip earlier, right? I mean, it's bring the pressure because that seemed to work last year. That's what I expect us to do. I expect us to bring the blitz pressure this week.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on the first game, like that was, or in the last game, that was like the a pivot that we had. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. So I like it, Addison. I like your line of thinking. But yeah, I think we bring the pressure. All right, let's move on to Fletcher Proctor. Georgia Hoops has looked impressive thus far and faces Georgia Tech this Friday. If Jake Wilkins keeps dunking and showing up on SportsCenter top 10, but I have YouTube TV and can't see it, does it really happen? Oh, wait, you meant football topics. Let's keep pounding the rock. Dogs by 15. All right, and now we will have the basketball minute. Um, Dude, this Georgia basketball team is fun to watch. Thus far, although I've only been able to catch highlights because of the YouTube TV thing. Like I have not been watching the games. But the Jake Wilkins alley oop windmill dunk is one of the. I mean, like he's living up to his dad's name, um, for sure. And I think almost as good as the dunk itself is the look on Jeremiah Wilkinson's face. He threw the alley oop, yeah, and his like jaw dropped, and then the whole team just erupted. So, a lot of fun to watch. If you are in town for the Texas game this weekend, Georgia Tech is in the Stag Friday night. I will be there with Lily, and my brother-in-law Greg, and my nephew Braden. So we will be there at the Stag to cheer these guys on. So we're gonna make it like a doubleheader Georgia athletics event weekend. So would love to see a huge turnout in the Stag Friday night.
man, that sounds a lot. That sounds like fun.
I'm
Wish
looking
that I
forward to
could.
it.
I wish that I could go.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely looking forward to that. So, um, but yeah, this will be the first like major competition for the team. So, should be a fun one.
I was about to say, I feel like we had this hype last season, if I remember correctly. We had a pretty awesome preseason, and then we
Mm-hmm.
kind of got it was a bit of a roller coaster.
It was. I mean, totally different team now. Like I'm still learning the with the roster turnover. And it is confusing when you have Dominique Wilkins' son and then another guy whose last name is Wilkinson. It's like I gotta get through that. But we're working on it.
Dude, the way that he threw that dunk down though was quite entertaining.
It's unbelievable. And I'm loving like the highlight packages that I've seen that include like Jeff Dantzler's calling of all the dunks. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Um, I'm assuming that's like the SEC network plus or whatever calls.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, Fletcher. Thanks always. Hope you enjoyed the Hoops Minute, and looking forward to seeing these guys in person on Friday night. All right, we're gonna move on to Matt Key. He says, one, do you think Arch regrets choosing Horns since they haven't beaten Georgia since he got on campus? What do you think, JB?
I don't they strike me as a family that was calculated from the beginning. So I think that they like Steve Sarkisian, and I think that they're just kind of, as long as he's there, I think they're going to be there, and I'm not too worried about what he chooses. I mean, it's hard to get upset about any recruits choosing, rivals,
Yeah.
regardless of what happens on the field, because it's just such a it's just such a Wild West situation right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I think it was a calculated decision. So yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. Second, Williams is turning into a legit target. Does he get more? I know you've been asking for that like since you first saw him.
yeah, dude, kind of like this Wilkins dunk, there's just something that, like, it's kind of like you see like those biopic episodes where it's like, you have the producer that's like trying to find the next big thing or whatever, and then all of a sudden you hear it. You can't really explain it. You just know, okay, that's a hit. Like
Mm.
there's just something about when he's on the field and from what I've seen when he is on the field, that's just like I don't know. It's kind of like Zach Branch, Yachariah Branch. Um, you look at him and you're like, okay, that's that's a ball player. I just think he's a ball player, and I think that ball players should get the ball.
Mm. I like it. I like it. I'm with you. Um, okay, and then finally, is the crowd going to be as loud as the Bama game?
I think it's gonna be louder, actually. I think it's gonna be pretty rowdy
Yeah.
because you got the pre-Thanksgiving crowd that'll probably be in town, and um you've got that, you've got the first time they've ever been there.
Hmm.
I like the fact that we're talking about wearing red versus a team that has orange in their color scheme. Um, I think that there's a lot. And then you got a night game. You're coming off of everybody's being cooped up from 29-degree weather.
True. Yeah,
We're
it's
we're
so
gonna
cold right now.
be we're all gonna be raring to go.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I honestly, I think night game is the biggest element there. But yeah, night game, top 10 matchup, first time they ever come to Athens. I think it'll be wild. So,
Right.
okay, this we're gonna go to Dwight, Dude a Dog one on Twitter. He had actually responded to Matt's question, and he said, "Will Hug Dog have PB and J shots?" Sorry, will Hug Dog have PB and J shots? Let's tackle the most important stuff, please. Enough with the fluff subjects. Um, I believe Jason said he replied something to the effect of the tailgate menu is planned. He may have to add this. All I'm gonna say is like trash cans need to look out if this is available at the tailgate. So if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Uh, all right. Let's see. Let's go to Ruse Dixie Dog. Okay. Maybe have had a little bit of foreshadowing on this. What is the best cut of beef and why is it the ribeye cap?
Hmm.
So it's not, we've established whatever it is, it's not coming from a longhorn though.
No, it's not coming from Longhorn. I like the ribeye calf. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Um, I do really enjoy the ribeye, just the overall ribeye cut.
Yeah.
I think if I'm picking steaks, that's probably what I'm going for. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Best cut of meat. It's kind of like asking like what's your favorite kid? Like I,
Right.
I mean, there's some days I like this one, some days I like that one.
I thought you were gonna say like it's like asking you what's your
Some days
favorite
I'll
bourbon?
throw them out and I'll just have chicken.
I thought you were gonna go what's your favorite bourbon and it went in a totally different direction.
Yeah, I mean, same
That's
same
okay.
concept,
I get
same
yeah, I know.
concept.
I know.
Um,
Too
I
good.
mean, New York strip is good on occasion as well. Like, there's a lot of different cuts of meat.
Yeah.
And frankly, like if you can get a real tender fillet, like there's nothing like a bacon wrap fillet with like, blue cheese crumbles or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you are into such things, but you know, I I, I like it all, but you can't go wrong with the ribeye cap.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was always like a fillet person, but I have I guess floated more towards the ribeye in my years. So
I feel like that the filet mignon was kind of like, the De Beers company or whatever. Like they have really good branding. Like whoever
yes,
like filet mignon has really good branding.
agreed.
And then you
Agreed.
grow up and you're like, "Oh wow, this is actually like just the tip of the iceberg."
Right. Oh wait, I can get a ribeye, and then there's actually it's that plus more. Sign me up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so then do you prefer reverse sear, cast iron all the way, or lump charcoal grilled? Um, I'm gonna go lump charcoal. That's what I prefer.
So, what I prefer versus what's practical, I'm a
Mm,
practical person. Dude, cooking it in the cast iron it makes a mess, man.
yeah, that's true. You get it all over the
It,
stovetop and
it's
everything, right?
it gets all over the stove, it's all over the floor, like maybe it's smoking, like I don't know. Um, Reverse sear is a good option. I feel like that I'm not as great with that one because it's a lot of steps, right? Like when you're when you got four kids, you're like, hey, it's time to eat. When it's time to eat, you gotta eat. And there's nothing better than an open flame to quickly cook a hunk of meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
True.
yeah, charcoal grilled, I would say is good. I've actually done I don't know if you've done this before or tried it, but like you can smoke if you smoke the steak for, you know, I want to say it's like an hour or two. I can't remember what I did. Where you smoke it for an hour or two to get it up to temperature, and then you kind of do the reverse sear.
Yeah.
That actually was pretty good too. Like basically just you're smoking it really low for a little bit to get it up to temp, and then you just give it a good crust.
I usually do the opposite. So I'll do more like super high heat, like so on a big green egg. I'll do the super high heat and like sear
Hmm.
it on both sides and then like just totally shut the grill down, like close all the vents and just have all the smoke get there and wait for it to get up to temp from there. So high
Mm.
heat fast on both sides and then slow the rest of the way. So that's how I like to do it.
Doesn't the high heat seal in all of the?
I mean, it's like a regular just searing it. So
Hmm, okay.
I don't know. I like it. I would say no. Okay, and then last piece of this. Best accompanying sauce: compound butter with rosemary and thyme, wine reduction, or just a simple pan sauce. The compound butter sounds the best to me personally.
I mean, compound butter is good if you've
Butter
got the
is
time.
Butter's good on
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, you can't go wrong with butter. I mean that is like a good finish to pretty much any steak is, as you're letting it rest, you just throw a knob of butter on it and you're good to go.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Hopefully we did that justice. I think Hug Dog said this was like the best topic he'd seen for the podcast. Look, man, you play against the Longhorns. You got to talk about some steaks.
You gotta talk about some steaks, especially in like, Angus steak, not Bevo, not Longhorn.
That's right. Um, all right. Fresh IRC podcast just said this. I think his kind of keys to the game: build momentum with the pass rush and must find ways to force turnovers. So agreed. That sounds like a good plan of attack for the Dogs on Saturday night.
Agreed.
Um, Okay, Herman's question is I do know that this is what Jason's topic was about. So what time is it in Texas? If you need help, check the 1984 Cotton Bowl score. And then he said, "What's the difference between Texas Orange and Tennessee Orange?" So, do you know what time it is in Texas, John?
I don't.
It's 10 to 9.
10 to 9. Got it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the difference between Texas Orange and Tennessee Orange. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere other than like, here's my question for you. Do are Texas fans like are they capable of wearing the same shade of orange? Because I feel like if you look at like Tennessee fans, like none of the gear matches. Like it's all different orange.
I
Is
mean,
the
it's
Texas
just,
orange kind of is it more consistent or
I
is
mean,
it all over the place like Tennessee orange?
so Jim, the correct answer is the Tennessee orange is fresh, fresh into the jail cell,
Okay.
right? And then the Texas orange is like, okay, they've been in jail for a while, and that jumpsuit is faded out a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay. Got it.
But they're
No.
both arrested for sure.
Okay. I got it. Now I'm up to date now. Amazing. Uh, let's go to Boss Dog. He says this defense is peaking at the right time. Is there a team in the country that can beat the Dogs as resilient as they are if the defense gets to full potential?
I mean, if the team that walked off the bus last weekend shows up to every game, I don't know that there's I don't know that there's anybody in the country that can touch them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's right. I think that's right. Let's do friend of the show, Tim Riley, submitted his own question. Do y'all think something sparked coming out of the Florida or simply competition versus Mississippi State? Is this going to be a four-quarter nail biter? Horns down. Texas sucks. Go Dogs. Um, I don't think it was just the competition against Mississippi State. Um, I'm not sure if it was something sparked or whatever. I still go back to what we talked about in the review. I mean, I think part of it is health, um, especially on that offensive line. Like I think that is making a huge difference. And you're now on speaking terms with Stacey Searles, so like, I mean that's a big deal.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, Jim.
Well, I don't know. I
We're
just
on the
want
we're on the Christmas card list.
okay,
I think that's what they said.
okay, that's right. Sorry to misquote. I apologize.
Yeah. I yeah, I do wonder, and we did get a text message about this. I do wonder, like, was there some motivating element that we maybe didn't see
Mm,
coming into that Mississippi State game?
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I feel like that they looked invigorated and they looked like they were having fun. Those are dangerous components on a team that has been underperforming.
yeah,
When you inject having fun and being motivated into a team culture program like what Kirby has built, that is something to watch out.
yeah. And it's we were getting questions earlier in the year, right, about like there's all the fire, passion, energy talk. Like, are we seeing it? And we definitely saw it Saturday in Starkville.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
yeah, if
Uh,
a switch was flipped, let's keep it on. I don't know.
yeah. Now that said, I mean, it's hard not to ignore the competition because
Sure.
I think didn't they hang on. No, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Yeah, I mean shoot, Texas Texas also played Mississippi State and won 45-36 or 38. So
Yeah, I mean they.
Even Mississippi State was able to put up points. Similar setting, like, you talk about common opponents and things like that. Like, um, Mississippi State was able to move the ball on these guys, and Mississippi State wasn't able to do a whole lot of stuff with us. So, and we've played them fairly recently. So there's not like, any kind of disparity, like, oh, we played them at the beginning of the season. They recently played the same opponent, and we mopped the floor, and they didn't.
Yep, yep. I mean that's our three common opponents. I mean they lost to Florida, and then Kentucky, Mississippi State went to overtime with them. So for what it's
Right.
worth. All right.
Hmm.
One more standard listener
Now,
question.
now I'm second guessing my over-unders.
We'll get there in a second after this.
Fireball.
All right, Jason Huggins, the Hug Dog, has chimed in. Fellas, time to show out. Horns down. Number one, which is more odd, the Texas A&M cheer dudes or Texas privilege?
Definitely the cheer dudes.
Yeah, yeah. Shocking. We agree. Agree.
I mean, UT definitely has some privilege, but it's always going to be that Colton College Station.
Yep. Two, if you could change the in-game experience, what's the top two or three things you would do?
The in-game experience, like, are we talking about in the stadium or what are we
That's
talking
what I'm
about?
assuming. That's what I'm assuming. I'm gonna
Clarifying
get.
question.
I'm gonna give one thing that I want to see to be a change from the last um, big home night game. I don't want to hear this.
Dude, I want to hear it at least. I would love to hear it at least once or twice.
You do. You're hoping it's not fully
Just
retired.
because, just because I feel as though the crowd will appreciate it. Not every time, not second down, but
Not
like
every second time,
just
but just
just
at maybe at a key moment or
just
something.
drop it in there when you least expect it and see what happens and just kind of let it sit.
Okay. 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 Um,
I wonder if there's a way to, like, could they like edit it to where it's not so fast? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like if you drew it out a little bit longer, it might make a little more impact. But
possibly.
um
Possibly.
anyway. Uh so I'll go kind of off the wall. The do that well do they do it in the replay that the ACC does where they show like the
Well, I mean that's it. Yeah. I mean that's a conference thing. But yeah,
right.
I don't disagree with you. I wish the SEC would do that.
Yeah, where you could see how they're measuring things. That would be cool. But do they show that in the stadium?
I mean,
Because I know they showed on the broadcast, but
I would assume no. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're getting to see the replays, but I highly doubt they're like playing the audio of what the people are saying in the stadium. I don't know.
right.
Honestly, I'll say this, like, because we talked about this a lot last year. I feel like they made a bunch of the changes that, I mean, not to say that they're like listening to the podcast or anything, but like you rattled off a list after there was the game last year where Kirby was like criticized the fans, and we talked through a few things that I think you kind of like rattled off a list. And honestly, like by the end of last season, especially like at night games, I think all those things were there. Um, like we don't see. I feel like there's a better. They've improved the flow of the game on like taking time out to honor like some random professor or whatever, like stuff like that. I think like I think like that flow is working much better now, and it's like if there's a big moment, they're going to honor like some former players or a past team, that kind of stuff. So I think that has been done pretty well. We've seen they're trying things. I mean, that song, I joked about that song, but like they're trying some different things. They did the light up wristband things. I mean, that was something new they tried. Um, those things are
I'll
like,
throw, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't really know like that I would necessarily change anything else. Like
yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like everything's gotten better. So I'll throw out just a couple of things just to marinate. I'll throw it out there and we can marinate on
Okay.
it. Food options, like more like professional grade food would be something that I would point
Okay.
to as well. Like, like you go to the Braves Stadium and you got Holman and Finch and, you know, all this kind of stuff. Like having options like that that are a little bit more advanced than just going and getting a Chick-fil-A sandwich kind of thing. That
Hmm.
said, double Chick-fil-A sandwich, highly recommend it after a full day of activities.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll throw that out there. As far as I had another thing that I was going to mention, and I'm totally blanking on it right now, but um, so so having like signature dish, like food, like
Hmm.
professional, kind of catering or whatever would be one thing. Um, Shoot, what was the other thing that I was going to mention? I was going to throw something
I
out there.
I've got one, and maybe it'll come to you
Okay.
while I say this. My one thing is I
Oh, I
would, and
remember.
this is an old man thing maybe, but I would kind of
Okay.
skew back towards the redcoats a bit. Is and then maybe that's me, and maybe that's actually not good advice, but like I don't know, I kind of like it when like we have like the third down music. I mean, like shoot, that the third down music from the redcoats is in the college football like EA Sports game, and like last year when that game came back, like that was the big like joke. It was like the stadium pulse thing, like you play at Georgia, like you can't survive the third down music kind of stuff. So I don't know. That's the one thing I think we've kind of gone. I think people wanted a lot of changes on like what music is being played through loudspeakers and stuff. I'd go back a little bit more towards the Red Ghost, but I don't know. That may be a me thing. I don't know that others agree.
Yeah, I would say having I don't know. I was thinking I saw a buddy of mine from high school that was the Ole Miss DJ. I don't know if he still is or not. I have to go and double check, but DJ KO, if you're familiar with him. But anyway, he was the DJ for Ole Miss for a while there. Like having a personality that's, you know, playing the music and doing the DJ kind of stuff, I think is kind of interesting. And I think we've had that in the past, but like they didn't make like a big deal out of it. You know what I mean? I think if
Mm,
you made a bigger deal out of it, or you know set them up somewhere in the stadium, would be something that would be pretty cool.
gotcha, gotcha.
Not necessarily think that that's something that we need or are missing, but that's something that I would say that would be, you know, that would be fun, I guess, for lack of a better description. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Favorite tailgate meal. I always guess go with Pondo Sands bean dip. It's a dish and it's just a meal.
Yeah, yeah, there's that. Man, dude, the barbecue,
Yeah, that's true.
it's hard not to go wrong with a barbecue sandwich at a tailgate.
Yeah,
Um,
barbecue with the fixins and the sides, some
yeah, but
barbecue baked beans and the mac and cheese.
I'm not a big baked beans fan at the tailgates.
Hmm.
Um, I I tend to shy away from things that I'm worried I'm gonna spill on myself. So,
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
um, I think that's about as adventurous as I get. If I have to put my hands on something, that something's gonna crumb off and drop on my shirt, and I'm gonna get upset about it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I would say you just can't go wrong with barbecue. But at the same time, like man, dude, a good burger at a tailgate,
Mm, it's true. It's true.
yeah, those char grill burgers that we've had
Mm,
at Morris Hall.
yeah. Those are good.
Maybe throw a hot dog on there. Mm.
Those are good.
You definitely gotta throw ketchup on that bad boy though.
uh, amazing.
And exactly zero pickles.
Uh, God, brothers know best are like freaking out right now. Favorite pregame ritual.
Obviously the pregame run.
I was gonna say there's the pregame run, and then I mean Carol's Country Covered.
Daryl's Country Covered is pretty elite. Oh, I forgot to tell you this, or maybe I did tell you. I can't remember if I told you the other day when we recorded, but um, so if you are in the Marietta area or Kennesaw area, there is a place that has been on. There's a guy that he's an Auburn fan, but there's a guy that goes around Atlanta and tries food. It's kind of like a
Mm,
white man's version of Keith Lee or whatever.
sure. Yeah.
Um, but he went to this biscuit place that's nearby. So I bring him up because he actually came and was like amazed at the biscuit kind of thing.
Hmm.
So there's a gas station up the road from us called the Minute Saver, and it's a staple if you are from this area for the high school kids going and getting chicken biscuits and whatnot. Guess what else they sell, Jim?
They have a tenderloin, egg and cheese.
They have a tenderloin, egg and cheese, and they
Nice.
make it fresh.
Okay.
So it's battered and fried and cooked by hand at this place. And so it's not as good as Carol's Country Cupboard because clearly nothing can be. It's like there'll never ever be able to be a replacement for that first Carol's bite. Um, However, it was definitely better than Martin's attempt at a TEC. I was very disappointed in that one. But it is pretty darn good.
I
It was
feel
pretty
like
darn good.
I feel like we're nearing like Bulldog Brunch levels of talking about this. Like
Bacon wrapped
we're
shrimp,
like
tenderloin, egg
uh
and cheese.
well, in Dancer we'll talk about like having like the shrimp off between like the two restaurants, and now we're talking about like the TEC off between like who can stand up, who can who can
Who
contend against
who
Carol's
among
Country
you?
Cupboard.
Who among you
Uh,
challenges me? Send your
uh,
champion.
yeah. If anyone can find a TEC out there that you think is on the level of Carol's Country Cupboard, let us know.
Seriously, like it's kind of like, these weirdos from Austin, they're into the breakfast burritos, right?
Mm.
We're
Oh,
we're
I
in
can't.
we're into TEC, which, I know that Michael's probably freaking out right now,
You've offended him.
talking
You've
about tacos and burritos, but
That's the second time you've offended him in the last like 5 minutes.
but but yeah, dude, I don't know. I'll take the TEC for sure.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Let's see, favorite pregame ritual. Okay, yeah, favorite pregame meal ritual. Pre-run, um, the TEC, and I would say that strolling up to the tailgate and cracking that first Classic
Sure.
City Lager is also a pretty awesome ritual too.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at this point though, it's the walk from tailgate to tailgate. Uh, you depart Morris Hall, you stop by Hug Dogs, you head in the stadium. So that is
That's true.
like
Agreed.
that's the pregame ritual now. So
Yes,
Jason, you're part of it.
you are a part of the favorite pregame ritual.
Awesome. All right, he said this is a big one, boys. Hunker down. So agreed, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, I know you said you were questioning yourself. Now's your time to make your final thoughts as we roll into our last one.
All right.
Oh my God! My God, a freshman.
Trying to put glasses on it.
1980 rule, brother.
It is time for Coach Trillbill's Over Unders Texas edition.
Shout out, Coach, for talking about the mistakes that we've made by going away from CBS.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Coach? Maybe it was Hunter. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I think it was Hunter that sent that, but I know Coach would agree. What was it? He sent it was actually it was an intro to the LSU Alabama game from years ago. It was like when the first time a Saban coached Alabama team went to LSU, and the pregame intro before they even got to that music was phenomenal. I mean, you think of
Right.
like the way they would weave in like the stories. I mean, you just think of like any CBS, like any Georgia Auburn game, any Deep South old rivalry. Like the intro was always just incredible. So yeah,
Yeah, they
I,
would
I
they
do miss
would
it.
they would give you a little bit of story with the game experience. That's what I would change. That's what I would change about the in-game experience. Hard dog.
Have it-
Bring back Ron Franklin. Bring back Vern Lundquist. Brad Nessler. Golly, dude. Like
yeah,
we have really downgraded with this ESPN situation.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And now, I mean, I think that's also, I think in part kind of why what's going on right now is going on with the YouTube TV thing. But at
Bring
any rate,
back Todd Blackledge going into random restaurants in college towns, please.
yeah, taste of the town.
Taste of the town.
All right,
We used to be a proper country.
yes. Um, as I recall, I have a slight lead in the over unders, so
I call
I
shenanigans, but
I yeah, well, that's fine. You can call it. You can call it. Okay, I am. I choose to go first. So we're starting off in the offense. Over under. Gunnar Stockton. Over under 250 total yards, and I'm going to say over.
ooh, total yards. All right, I'll smash the over on that one.
Okay. Over to you, Yachariah Branch. Over under 4.5 receptions.
I'm gonna go over on that one.
Okay. I agree. And then for me, over under 2.5 rushing touchdowns for Georgia.
Mm.
Yeah. Now I'm like trying to count. I think that's a really good line. I don't know why I'm sitting here like thinking about this so much. I'm gonna say over.
I'm gonna go over on that one. Not super confident about it, but um, it being overall rushing touchdowns. That's
Correct. Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to switch to the defense and over to you, JP. Over under 215 passing yards for Arch Manning.
I think I think he'll probably go over.
Okay. Okay. Just so we don't agree on everything, and because he was not in Chad Powers, I'm going to say under. Um, Forced turnovers for the Georgia defense, over under 0.5. I'm going to say over. We turned these guys over multiple times last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I figure Arch is good for at least one INT.
Okay. And then over under 1.5 sacks for the Georgia defense. Over to you.
I'm gonna go over.
Okay. I actually agree with you. I am as well. Dial up
Okay.
the pressure.
Yeah, dial up the pressure. Exactly.
Okay. And then over under 2.5 field goal attempts for Peyton Woodring. I'm going to go under touchdowns, not field goals.
I'm also gonna go under, Jim.
Okay. Okay.
It's a good line.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great line. That's it for the ones that we decide on. The last one is just a question, not an over under, but favorite cut of Bevo and McConaughey movie. So I guess we had the
we
steak
just-
cut earlier.
we discussed the stakes.
Do you have a favorite McConaughey movie?
Oh man, favorite McConaughey movie. Um, hmm. Do you?
I mean, I think so favorite, I have to kind of key on that. I mean, dude, I still think of like the first movie I saw him in, which was actually his first movie, Daisy Confused. I'm not sure you call that a McConaughey movie, but that's got to be up there. And I'm not sure this is actually his best movie, but Interstellar is really good, and I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. So I'll say Interstellar.
Ooh, that is a good one. Um, I do like me some Matthew McConaughey. I'm gonna go. Do you remember? I just did a tacit search just to see like, am I forgetting something? And I was absolutely forgetting something. He was in Angels in the Outfield.
He was. He was.
Amazing. Amazing.
Uh,
I forgot about that. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Lincoln Lawyer.
okay.
I really like the Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay. That's a good
I
one.
haven't I haven't seen Gold. Uh,
I have
That's
not
one
seen
that
that
he's
either.
that's one that he's in, but I haven't seen Gold. I do like Interstellar. I was just trying to do something different than you. I
No,
didn't really
that's all
like
good.
him in Dallas Buyers Club, but I didn't really like that movie in general. But yeah.
Yeah. Shout out, actual Texas graduate. That was discussed, I think, last year. I tried to say that he didn't graduate, but he did. Um, and our fraternity
Hmm.
brother, Matthew McConaughey.
And our fraternity brother.
All right. Shout out Coach Joe Bill. Thank you as always for sending those in. Much appreciated. And all right, let's get to the predictions, JP. All right, so this game, Georgia is favored by 6 points. The over under is 48.5. That gives you an implied score of Georgia 27 and a quarter to Texas 21 and a quarter. The predicted score from OddsShark has a super tight one. Georgia 32.2 to Texas 31.4. Parker Fleming in his college football graphs has Georgia 27.5 to like 24.5, basically. And then our My God podcast scoring impact has Georgia 27.4 to Texas 22. So everybody's got this like super close, a super close tight game. I know I'm gonna throw out two things to kind of back up my thinking here. So one, first, Texas has yet to score 20 points on Georgia since entering the SEC. And then also, Georgia has not lost to a top 10 team at home under Kirby Smart. We are 8-0 playing a top 10 team between the hedges under Kirby. I do think Vegas knows what they're talking about. So I'm going to stick close to that. I'm going to say Dogs 24-17.
Hmm. I'm gonna go 35 to 23.
Okay. We both we both do have the Dogs covering. I'll point that out.
I just think that they've been giving up a lot of points lately.
Yeah. 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 Agreed. Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll be a fun one. Under the lights, we get to light up Sanford, and I think we as fans have with games like this, we've got the ability to affect the game. So, uh, let's all
Get there, be
go do
loud,
that.
and cheer for me.
100%. We'll do it. We'll do it. I will be there. So Kim is bringing Ella home from school. College fall quarter is over. So from, I guess, our branch of the woods, it's just going to be Lily and I. We'll be down there. So we'll be at the Tech game, like I said, Friday night, and then we'll be in Athens again on Saturday.
Good times.
Uh,
Well, you guys have fun. Make sure you get some South Kitchen in you and get some Little Italy in you maybe. Um,
True.
and and cheer on the dogs as they take on the fighting non-alcoholic beverages.
We can do that. Um, I have actually one more thing. We got
Okay.
we got coaches pick 'em.
Oh, well, that's right. We got the pick'ems.
Uh, let's hit the pick 'em against. Sorry, I took us down the rabbit hole of like what I'm doing. I threw you off.
You did throw me off.
Okay, we got South Carolina travels to number 3 Texas A&M. A&M favored by 18.5. This is the noon game on ESPN.
A nooner.
Yeah,
Okay. That's 11 o'clock local time, right?
correct. Yeah,
So that could be interesting. That could be an interesting game, but I have Texas A&M on that one.
yeah, I'm with you. Let's see. Arkansas heads to LSU. LSU is favored by 5.5. This is 12:45 on SEC Network.
It's another
Um,
11 o'clock game local time.
yeah, and Arkansas is yet to win a league game, I
Mm.
believe, to this point. So LSU in a bit of disarray. What they're now trying to say that they didn't fire. um,
Well, he apparently he hasn't been fired yet because they were just talking about the buyout that they're
right.
like
Yeah.
somebody on Twitter was like, this is how the negotiation went. Like lawyer looks at the contract, sees 53 million, says, "Will you take 20 million?"
Right. Yeah.
Brian
That's
Kelly,
the
no.
no.
How about 30? Brian
whole,
Kelly, no. LSU's lawyer looks at the athletic department. He's good.
whole thing. Whole thing is wild. Whole thing is wild. Um, I don't know. I guess I want. I kind of. I'm gonna say Arkansas. Whatever. Forget it. I'm going Arkansas.
Whatever.
Who do you got?
I'm definitely gonna take LSU and Baton Rouge,
Okay.
regardless of what time it is.
Okay. Let's see. Number 12, Oklahoma travels to number 4, Alabama. Bama is a 6.5 point favorite. This is the 3:30 game on ABC. Um, Oklahoma got them last year, but it was at their place, and I think Bama's. I think they're pretty good. I'll take Bama.
Yeah, dude, Ty Simpson should be the guy that they're talking about for Heisman, but they're not ever gonna do that with the Mendoza guy doing what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Alabama on that one.
Okay. Let's see. You got Florida heads to number 6, Ole Miss. Big line, Ole Miss favored by 15.5. This is another night game, 7 o'clock on ESPN. This is another one where Florida, snuck up on Ole Miss last year, but it was at Florida. I don't know that I see that happening again.
Yeah, give me the juice on that one.
Did you?
The
Yeah,
juice is loose.
that's right. Um, and then the last one, Mississippi State at Missouri, number 22 Missouri. Missouri favored by 7.5.
Did you pick the last one?
Yeah, I got Ole Miss. I'm with you. I
You
agree
got
with you.
all okay.
Yeah, and then yeah,
All right. Mississippi State at Missouri. Yeah, give me Missouri on that one.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, we generally agree. Went with the one.
Are there any other games out there like outside the SEC?
Uh, yes. So Pitt, Notre Dame. That's the other big one.
Pitt and Notre Dame. Okay.
That's where game day is at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've yet to have game day, right?
No,
No, we
dude.
had no, we
Yeah,
had
we
we
had.
had game day.
Yeah,
No.
we had game day.
I think this was the one that we were like, if Texas gets into the top 10, like this would have for sure been a game day, but no, it's not.
Right. Right. Right.
For what it's worth, I think our matchup is more compelling than Notre Dame versus Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's like a Notre Dame thing, I guess.
Right.
But I agree. I agree. I think top 10 Georgia Texas is, but yeah, I mean
I mean, shoot.
they've already been to Athens, and they've already had Texas, so I don't know, it's probably one of those kind of spreading it around kind of things.
Right. You've also got Oklahoma and Alabama, probably the best matchup from as far as like the rankings go, outside of Texas and Georgia.
Right. Right, for sure. Cool, man. Okay. Well, sorry I threw you off earlier. But as I said, yeah, we'll be heading down Friday, hitting up the Tech game, and looking forward to spend the Saturday night between the hedges with everybody and light up Sanford.
Enjoy the TEC, my friend.
We'll do.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.